again. In this segment, we're going to talk about an event that occurred just 2 days ago, after our other video of the events that occurred between September 4th through September 6th. The last event occurred 2 days ago on the 17th. Keith, could you please tell us what you saw and describe it in the approximate size that your daughter saw? I apologize. Yeah, out of her bedroom that prompted you to go back up and spend most of the night at the top of the mountain here.
Yeah, that wore me out after I'd been working all day. But anyway, yeah. So my daughter comes in the other night and she says, "Oh man, okay, now I saw a green orb that just flew past the same place, same location as the helicopters flew by, basically. Mm-hmm. Same pattern, same location, same path." Okay, honey, sure it wasn't a deer, you know, because their eyes glow green at night when you see it. No, it was not a deer. It was in the sky, and it was coming down at a different angle. Okay, shooting star, right? So the first thing Dad wants to do is just break this whole thing of aliens walking around or spacecrafts flying around, and I'm going to explain it off as a natural phenomenon or some event. Some guy, okay, so I say laser beam. We had guys on the ranch poaching all the time. These guys are using green lasers because that's the latest now. These kids is green laser. So could it have been a green laser? No, Dad. It came down at an angle like a falling star, but it was coming at a different slant, and it went right towards the substation, right above the mountain right here outside my bedroom window. I saw it clear as day. It's a green orb. Okay. Let's grab the stuff. Got my lights. I get my beam light. I get my cameras. We get our home cameras. We get our cameras. And we run out there, prepared for nothing. We all went out there, just jumped in the golf cart again, drove around the side of the ranch, drove right out into the darkness, you know, thinking we're going to encounter whatever we encounter. So we're standing out there, and so we look up, and we're sitting inside the cart first, and all of a sudden I notice, you know, what appears to be falling stars. But the interesting part about it was that they all seem to be coming right around that green orb. Now there's falling stars. My daughter says she sees the green orb. We go immediately outside and we have falling stars. Now I've sat outside in my ranch for hours and hours and hours and hours and sometimes overnight. And also I'm irrigating at night my trees out there. So I'm out there all times of the morning and at night, irrigating my trees. So that's who I communicate with. That's all I have to look at is stars and the city of Fresno at night. Light. So I'm thinking, okay, now this is interesting. We have all these stars falling out of the sky all of a sudden, but they're all coming from one kind of general direction. In my opinion, they're all falling from the north sky, falling back to the west sky. So from the northeast to the west. Anyway, so we get out. I get out of the cart and I'm walking forward, and Tanya's telling me, well, you know, what do you see? What can you see? Is there anything there? And I'm looking up above me, and I see what looks to me to have been a stealth. Now, I know that sounds kind of funny because how do you see a stealth? Well, from what I gathered and what I've seen in my experience, from my 180 experience on seeing an actual, what I believe to be a verified UFO flying at night, it had some kind of technology. I call it stealth, but it may just be something completely different. But the only term I know to for other people to understand what it could have been is it had a stealthing ability to reflect back the night sky off of its surface.
What was the approximate size in your estimation of that craft?
My estimation, it would have been at least. It's really hard to tell in the sky because you're looking up. You have no. There's no way of you have no depth perception. So there's no way of knowing. It could be 1,000, it could be 400 feet from you, 300 feet from you, or 10,000 feet from you, or your distance of your eyes. We see how many football fields at night.
Or like a line of reference.
We can see a line of reference.
You don't have one yet.
Right. So, but from my feeling, what I felt was it was the size of probably kind of a diamond-shaped 747. So when you see a 747 flying at night,
did it have any nav lights on it?
No. But when you see a 747 flying at night or a stealth fighter, you see a diamond.
That's true, and
see a
also
dime.
because of the atmospherics in this area, many times, stealth or not, just so you know, a lot of aircraft, whether it's 35,000, 45, or others, will not even leave a vapor trail. Now, that craft, did it hover? Was it flying?
No, it was just right up above us by about, I'd say, 300 or 400 feet, and it was just there, and then it just escaped my vision.
Wow.
Now that was just that one particular event, but the stars coming out of the sky. So now I decided to go out and venture out with my flashlight, and I took the flashlight, and we have one of those high beam lights, so I pointed up in the sky to show Tanya where the stealth is. You know, it's right there. That's where it is. It's right there. So I pointed the light up. She goes, "Is that low?" And she thought, "Well, that low?" Yeah, well, it's right there.
It's reflecting light.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
And so so then I go from it. You start to wane interest when you don't have any further to take your imagination. In other words, if it is your imagination starts to.
But that was both Tanya and you see the same object.
No, she didn't see it.
Oh.
She couldn't see it. She was standing right there looking up there, and she couldn't see it.
Now,
Neither my daughter nor her could see it.
was it making any sound at
There
all?
was no sounds.
And
No
your daughter
sounds.
was there too?
Daughter was there too.
And she couldn't see
She
it
saw
all?
they saw the falling stars,
Okay.
but they did not see this thing.
Then back to the orb. Your daughter had stated that she saw it flying in from the south
It flew from the south and came across this way.
to
So
your amphitheater area that we're going to see.
yeah, so it came from south and flew right down towards the substation.
But it made movements that were not.
No movement. It was just one orb of light coming down.
Oh, okay.
One
and
stream
then it
of light.
disappeared
Like a comet.
near the substation.
Yeah, like a comet. And it just went right behind the oak tree and was gone.
Wow.
So it was like it was crashing into Earth.
But you felt it was about the size of a car, you said something like
Yeah, that's the way she described it, was the size of a car. But then I go out into the field and I start walking through the field and I get that chill again that I got on my 180 experience. I got that tingling sensation, that feeling of a presence. Now, I've been a very close eyewitness to an experience on the 180. We haven't taped that
Yeah,
yet.
we're gonna tape this.
We're going to tape that, but my 180 experience, one of the things that happened was I got the chills throughout my body, just extreme chills. The hair stands up on your skin. You get bumps, the bumps, and
It's like a galvanic skin response, and really, I've been out in the open too. And if there was something I felt a presence or felt
or fear will do it to you. Fear will
and
do
the
it.
same thing can happen.
Yeah.
But you didn't find any more evidence.
No physical evidence whatsoever.
No crash site or anything.
No physical evidence, no crash site, none of that stuff. And I went even back out the next morning, which was this morning, right? Wouldn't that be this morning, Tanya, or was it yesterday morning? Yesterday morning. This morning? Yesterday morning. Went back out yesterday morning and took my cart out there and drove all around, looked for physical evidence on the ground, looked for any kind of suspicious looking rock, because something coming down out of the sky can be that big around.
Well, in most cases now, a week and a half ago, we did have a large meteor pass over Spain, and as it bounced off the atmosphere, 2 or 3 chunks came off and verified. Apparently, at least one landed in Nicaragua, causing quite a crater. Do you also that we noted that earlier was the last 2 days, was it, that a possible Russian satellite is in the news?
Well, yeah, that was on the news last night. So
Okay,
last
that had
night
been the
we're sitting
daylight.
there listening to the news, and this is funny too about it. It's a national news. It was on national news, and they said parts of it came as far as Texas, landed in Texas, in eastern Texas. Well, I'm thinking, something that comes out of space and is coming through the atmosphere like that, how can they pinpoint where this thing breaks up and how many pieces go where?
Well, it's very difficult, but that's the point of what we're trying to determine.
Yes.
That whether it was something that is unexplainable could keep the case open. If it can be explained, and you found no evidence of any craters or any sites or any crashes or any, the only other thing I could think of, could there have been a bouncing or energy level or a certain spiking across the electrical lines that you have up here on the hill that could have created a type of greenish hue or
None that I know.
No?
And we're real sensitive right now because we're in a real high fire prone area.
Yes.
Some very high fire prone area. So we're on very high alert here, all the time, looking for reasons why fires will start and how easy it is to start a fire.
Well, signs coming in, it's stated everything has been suspended. So
Yes.
okay, well then,
But my biggest deal, as I'm going to finish, is my biggest deal is the meteors. Then I've seen the show on national news, and on national news, he says that a few days ago, he does not specific. He doesn't say that the Russian spy satellite fell out of the sky on September 17th, 2014. He says a few days ago. So that was really interesting, and the fact that it was not on a local channel. There was no mention of this Russian spy satellite on a local channel. Usually they replicate some of the national news, some of the featured news programs that are of high value. Well, it's interesting that none of the local news channels had this Russian satellite breaking up.
I think sometimes we can call this a news vacuum area.
All right. So what I was thinking was, well, then that would explain the meteors if I saw it 3 days ago, because it was a few days ago.
Yeah. When you saw the meteors coming in, do they seem distance close? Sometimes they can get close enough where you can actually see a bit of a fire trail at the end.
Exactly, and these did not have a trail.
Okay.
They were not like a trail. It was the interesting part. They were like a light beam across the sky that went in, that appeared at a certain point and disappeared before it even got to another point.
But it was
in the horizon.
But it was close. It seemed.
Yeah, they were close. They were they were out to the southern sky of us above. But the way they were coming in, it was like somebody would just shoot light, like a beam, like a saber, a lightsaber. It would show up, look like something coming through. Most times that I've seen falling stars go across the sky. And as a matter of fact, when I was taping the other night, that night I went back up to tape till midnight, trying to get something on film on my camera, and I was up at the top of the hill, standing up there for an hour, and falling asleep and looking up the sky. And I'd have my camera over here looking, and boom, all of a sudden there's another falling star over there. Or boom, here's a light right here, finally popped up. I saw a light pop up at the top of the Tybee Mountain, just above Tybee Mountain, in the skyline, and it went across the sky a little bit, went behind some trees at the edge of the top of the hill, disappeared behind trees, and then did not come out on the other side of the trees.
It's interesting.
So I'm looking at that going, well, what could that have been? And, maybe it was just a plane and it just took a detour and turn. I'm always trying to, I'm not looking for little green men, and I'm not looking for little space craft. I'm not looking for a flying saucer. I'm looking to explain what I just saw.
Well, in all of our conversations, that has been true. That's why I'm here, because you've been very logical and in diagnosing the situation. I don't have another answer for you at this point of what you saw, except you've had numerous activities over a period of time. Therefore, especially on our website, we'll have some of these pictures and all attached for people's view. Is there anything else you'd like to add to?
I'd like to add to the people watching this video that it's very important that you report and contact Ed, his company, anybody. Report what you see as soon as you see it. While the event is fresh in your mind, write it down. Make a mental photograph. Make a physical photograph. Draw a map. Draw a picture. Put the location, the time, the part of the sky you saw it in. You don't have to be real technical, but you have to get it down and you have to report it, because there may be somebody standing 16 miles away from you who's standing there witnessing the other side of this event from a different angle, and both of your stories can support that there's something actually happened.
Well, thank you very much for that input. And with what we do at the UFO and Alien Truth Network is trying to get to the bottom of what's happening. What's happened a couple of days ago, we didn't get any other reports, but like the 2 weeks ago, we got 5 direct comments coming in. So this has been very helpful, Keith. I can't thank you enough for allowing me into your home and the hospitality shown by you and your family.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is Ed Smith from UAATN, signing off.